Hey guys, Dagny here. Um, I know I've been kind of in a funny position the last couple of videos, and I just wanted to apologize if it's driving me batty, which I think it might drive me batty, but actually it does drive me almost batty, but um, I kind of overdid it the last couple of days. Again, it's that whole trying to live your life 2 hours at a time. It's very difficult. And I pushed it a little too much, and so I've got to spend the next couple of days basically flat on my back in bed. So should be able to post a couple of videos. Yay! Um, so I've been thinking I need to sing for you guys because you know that's actually one of my passions and one of my loves and one of the things that used to bring me great joy. But then when I got hurt, my heart broke, and I couldn't sing anymore because I was so broken physically. And then when all of these doctors and medical professionals started saying that I was broken emotionally and mentally. It broke my heart. And at first, I actually ended up with it was a physical lump in my throat. I don't know where it came from. I don't know why. But like right before you cry, or if you feel like you're going to cry and you try to hold it back, that lump that makes it kind of hard to swallow. I had a permanent lump. I had permanent one of those in my throat. And I think it's because I needed to cry and I didn't. And I needed to let it out and I didn't. Um, so eventually I was able to, that lump went away, but it was like almost a permanent fixture for quite some time. And any time I even attempted to sing, it was very painful in my throat. So anyhow, I'm almost 3 minutes into this and I haven't even gotten back to the story. So story is, we just got done with an independent medical evaluation. And the results of that, the independent medical evaluation with the doctor who had already seen me and diagnosed me, was the same, that there was absolutely nothing convenient for the insurance company. Absolutely nothing that workman's comp could do. Sorry. Absolutely nothing that workman's comp could do. I had a psychological condition that made me in the chair, that supposedly that there was no evidence whatsoever of there being anything physically wrong with me. So it was one of those things. At this point, I had been in a wheelchair for quite some time. Too long. I mean, one day was too long. And I was at this point, I'm like, you know what? I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's a psychological condition. I said, if it's a psychological condition, send me to somebody. Please give me a pill. I really don't care what I have to do. I just want to walk again. I'm tired of not being able to walk. Let me talk to somebody. Give me a pill, please. I don't care at this point. if it's something psychological, let's deal with it. Help me deal with this. Or send me someplace where I can deal with it. But instead of sending me to a psychiatrist or a psychologist, they sent me to they actually sent me to a spinal surgeon. This doctor who did the EEG and the IME was his official title, he's got a couple titles, but basically was a physiatrist. Kind of an interesting doctor, a physiatrist. So next, they sent me to an actual spinal surgeon, another spinal surgeon. And it was like one of those things. I actually had hope because I'm like, you know what? I don't know what these physiatrists do, but a spinal surgeon who actually was supposedly supposed to have specialized in neurological conditions. He actually was supposed to, and I'm like, if there's something going on neurologically, which was kind of my guess because it's like I had no feeling in my legs, and so I kind of figured that it was a nerve thing, but I didn't know, I'm not a doctor, and so we actually had some help going into this next doctor, and basically all it was workman's comp trying to build their case up against me to try and get rid of me. And so they sent me to this next doctor, and I brought along all of my records, and I had actually been to a pain management specialist who had run some tests, and it was kind of interesting because he actually found that there was something at one of the joints, a facet joint, that he thought was actually what was causing my pain. And so, it was one of those things when we won our case, I was to turn over all of the records, everything that I had done in the last year and a half, to, workman's comp so that they could pass those on to the doctors that I would be seeing. Well, it was really interesting because as I started going to these doctors, they received all of the records minus the one doctor who actually said that there was something wrong, something that he was able to actually, he confirmed that there was something wrong with one of the facets. And it was just one of those things that uh, one of the facets causing pain, yeah, that could be what was causing the pain, but what was causing the lack of feeling in my legs and the inability, to move my legs. Um, and so every doctor that I went to with workman's comp, I had to bring these records in from my pain management doctor because conveniently they were never there. They were never there. So I brought in all of these films, I brought in all these records, and I went into this doctor, my husband and I, and he said, can you stand up? And I said, yeah, well, I can stand up with some help. And so my husband kind of helped me stand up, and he says, well, he says, he says, uh, something, it was, again, kind of crazy. He said something to the effect of, you, you shouldn't be able to stand up if you've got no feeling in your legs. And it was like, well, I'm having to hold on to my walker. I'm having to hold on to my husband. But I can, my knees lock out, just because I don't feel them locking out. It doesn't mean they can't. And so he basically said, because I was saying that I had no feeling in my legs, yet I could stand up out of my chair, that he agreed with this doctor, that said I had this condition this psychological condition, this convergence disorder. And, our hearts were just broken. And it was like, well, would you like to see the CT myelograms? Could you look at those, please, and see if you see anything on those? And so he took us out into the hallway where all of the other patients were running past, all of the other doctors and patients, everybody was walking past. And he had a light board out there. And he took my films and he threw them up on this light board in front of everybody to see. And here I am with my wheelchair blocking the hallway. And he threw them up on the light board, and then he waved his hand magically in front of the films, and he says, "See, there's nothing wrong. See, there's nothing wrong." That's all he said. Was, "See, there's nothing wrong." And right then, his nurse said, "Doctor, you've got to call on line 1." And he left us. Like, he walked away from us, and he left us there in the hallway, and he took this call. And we're just sitting here going, is that the end of our appointment? Okay, what do we do now? And don't get me wrong, that whole doctor you've got to call on line 1 is really code for you need to get to your next appointment, doctor, come on. Or it's the doctor's way of getting out and saying, okay, well, I've got to get going. I've got other patients to see, basically. And we actually had to ask the doctor to come back into the room with us to discuss some of the other questions that we had, like the things that we had with the pain management doctor, and he dismissed every single one of them. And it was at this time that I looked and I just said to myself, I can't be doing this to myself. I can't be doing this to myself. We left that appointment and we walked out. And my husband, he just looked at me. And for a millisecond, I wondered if I was doing this to myself and if there was something I could do about it. If I had put my family through all of this pain and suffering, if I had put myself through that, my husband, he looked at me and he said, Kim, there's got to be somebody out there who can give us some answers. And from that moment on, I just, in my heart, I knew that there was something truly wrong. Again, I was open to anything, any suggestion, any recommendation. So, workman comp doctors continued sending me to doctor after doctor after doctor with no results. Every single doctor, like sheep jumping off a cliff, looked at me and said, there's nothing wrong with you. It's all in your head. You've got this psychological condition. It's not your fault. You've got no control over it. My video is gonna be running out here, so I'm gonna switch to another one.